I'm Shane Sandon and welcome to the Boxing Cage. In this video I'm going to show you how to move with basic boxing footwork. Good boxing footwork will put you in the right position at the right time to attack and defend as efficiently as possible. Bad footwork, however, will leave you in the wrong position, caught off guard, off balance and unable to defend or attack. Anyone can throw a punch. You practice hitting the bags hundreds and thousands of times. However, not all boxers have good footwork. The ones that do completely outclass the ones that don't. Right, so let's get into it. Now I'm going to show you how to move with good boxing footwork. First, we need to take a look at your feet positioning and your stance. Not going to go into too much detail here, as I do have a very detailed video for you to watch on how to form a traditional boxing stance and the most common mistakes in your stance and how you can correct them. If you haven't seen either of those videos yet, you'll find a link in the description below. It's really important to note that good boxing footwork promotes the integrity of a good stance. What we're looking at here, feet just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, both feet nice and parallel together. If you're in an orthodox position, pointing towards 2 o'clock, southpaw towards 11, weight on the balls of my feet, back foot raised, back heel raised 1 or 2 inches, knees softened, shoulder turned in towards your opponent, elbows locked in towards the ribs, guard tight, however relaxed, the rear hand pinned to your cheek, chin down, eyes looking over the tops of your gloves. Your body weight is nice and central, if anything favoured towards the back leg ever so slightly, allowing you to be able to shift your weight forwards and backwards and confidently throw a punch or defend within this stance. Make sure you have a really good understanding of your stance, because when you take a step, whether it be forwards, backwards, left or right, your feet should always land back in the same position they started in, which should be your good boxing stance. Now, it sounds easy, however, 99% of boxers still get this wrong, including the pros. With every step, you need to ensure that your ankles are engaged so that your feet always stay parallel, never allowing them to open up. Actively engage your ankles and your calves so that you're always landing on the balls of your feet, never going heel toe, same for pushing backwards. This allows you to be able to move in any direction nice and efficiently, and at the same time it's always leaving you ready to drive any shots that you need to in towards your opponent or defend against any of your opponent's shots. If I'm caught with my feet splayed outwards, I can't move as efficiently left and right, and I can't engage my hip into my shots. As well, if I'm moving heel toe every time, again for that moment of time, I'm completely off guard and vulnerable to any attack from my opponent. Whenever you move in any direction, you want to make sure your feet maintain this gap in between your legs. Don't allow your back foot to drag, widening the gap. As you can see, that takes away your ability to engage this hip and also drive with full range in that rear leg into this rear hand shot. Nor do you want to be stepping and closing the gap between your feet, because once again you can see completely off balance and you just cannot put that power into your shots. I'll challenge you to try throw a shot like this on the bags, and you'll just notice every time you land, you're going to knock yourself off balance. Same, so step forwards. I don't want to lose my balance and come too front foot heavy. Leaves me exposed to big shots, but as well as that, I can't engage this hip once again and get proper rear hand extension into my shots. If I step backwards, I don't want to be leaning back and putting all my weight on my back foot, because again, now I'm leaving my chest exposed and also leaving my chin exposed. And you've got it, you can't fully engage your rear leg into your shots. Your weight should always stay central, and if anything, just slightly favour towards this back leg so that you can fully engage your shots. As I said, good footwork promotes a good stance, and therefore it allows you to be able to punch and defend at all times. And the way to develop this is take small, calculated steps and then build your speed. To do this, you have to actively engage certain muscles. Now this feels awkward because it's very different to walking or running. It requires small micro movements which I haven't trained yet. If I want to step forward, my back foot drives me forward, whilst my front foot steps. Drive and step. If I want to step backwards, my front foot drives me backwards, my back foot steps. Now this is the same movement no matter which direction you want to go in. If I'm going to my left, it's my right foot that drives me left, left foot steps. If I'm going to my right, my left foot drives me, my right foot steps. And this is the exact same if you're in a southpaw stance. You drive with your rear leg to move you forwards, you drive with your lead leg to move you backwards. If you want to move towards your left, you drive with your right foot. If you want to move towards your right, you drive with your left foot. It is always the opposite foot that is the driving force. Begin your practice by taking one step at a time, left, right, forwards, backwards. Then as you get more confident, take 2 steps forwards, 2 steps backwards, 2 steps left, 2 steps right, and really just build it up slowly. You can never spend enough time on your footwork, that I can promise you. It's very important to note that when you do take a step in boxing, whether it be forwards, backwards, left or right, your feet always land in the same position as when you started. So, if I'm stepping forwards, I step 6 inches or so with this front foot, I follow 6 inches or so with this back foot. If I'm stepping backwards, driving with my front foot, stepping with that back foot 6 inches, I follow 6 inches with that front foot. You never ever want to step, let's say, 1.5 foot here with this foot, and then only 6 inches here, leaving me completely stretched out and off balance. As we said, you can't get your shots in, nor can you defend. And on the other side of that, I don't want to step a couple inches here and then overstep with this back foot, once again leaving me completely off balance. This is the same when moving left and right. If I'm stepping over to my left here, I'm not overstepping with this back foot, crossing me off, leaving me off balance. And if I'm stepping off to my right, I'm not overstepping with my front foot. As I said, you will find this difficult at the start because it's nothing like running or walking, and when we walk, we do cross our feet over and shift our balance like so. But once you get accustomed to this movement, you will see the benefits of how you can defend and punch no matter where you are. And just so you're aware, that's the same for southpaw. Never want to overstep or cross when I'm stepping left and right. Practice small calculated steps, and then as you get more confident with it, start to gradually build up your speed until you're moving right in nice and fast, floating like a butterfly. Once you start to get confident with your feet and being able to move anywhere that you want to, then start to think about moving and adding punches in with your footwork. Once you start to add punches, really feel that you're actually able to drive that hip into your shots and that your balance is nice and central. If you find you're off balance or you're not able to fully engage that hip and get maximum reach into your shots, especially the rear hand shot, 99.9% of the time it's to do with your stance and your balance. So go back to the basics, deconstruct it or work out what's going wrong and how you can correct it. In this video I've shown you basic boxing footwork. There is so much more to footwork, however most boxers don't even get this right. In future videos we'll go over the more complex things such as opening and closing range between you and your opponent, feints, using angles cutting off your opponent in the ring and manipulating your opponent to move so that you can walk them into specific shots. Remember, the idea here is to make small, controlled movements nice and relaxed, preserving your stance no matter which direction you go in. You want to be able to punch and defend comfortably at all times. Once you can do that, we'll move on to the more complex footwork. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, I'd really recommend you watch my video on how to form a traditional boxing stance, as you can't have good footwork without a good stance. In my next video, we'll go over the most common mistakes with regards to your footwork and how you can correct them. As always, if you have any questions, drop me a comment below or contact me on any social media platforms. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible.